Anybody,
Damn.
any nation.
I ain't know that.
That's right.
Damn.
They have one they call Lucifer. I don't even know the acronym, but they have the biggest telescope is called Lucifer, who they worship in the Vatican. They have a temple in the Vatican to Lucifer. Understand that the whole thing around Operation Bluebeam was to bring a Christ back, to bring us to such an extent, to such a level of chaos that the Jesus that they're telling you that exists, this myth, will start coming back on a cloud, or will be attacked by aliens, and they'll give you one of the biggest light shows that you'll ever see, and you really believe that we were battling aliens in the skies. They
Damn.
can do that now. The technology is at least 100 years ahead of its time. You don't know that. They've
Mm.
already have technologies that would make you believe that somebody's in the room with you in a three-dimensional manner. They have done it. So yeah, keep thinking about aliens and so forth, but keep your mind focused on the fact that whoever wants to distract you with aliens is taking you to look over there when what he's doing over there is really where the mischief is taking place.
Mm.
So yeah, look at all the aliens and so forth, and I listened to some of my brothers and sisters talking about visitations in the sky and all these sophisticated light shows. And does anybody ever seen any of them? Have they come down? Except to those children in Africa.
Mm.
Those children in Africa at the time when these aliens had come down and these little children began drawing them.
Mm. Mm.
Who did they use to do that? Were they really the Greys? Well, we don't know, but the one thing I know when I studied the Greys was that they are an entity of species that had cloned themselves so much that they no longer can procreate
Mm.
anymore. So that the only way of manipulating multiplying themselves is through cloning, because they've become so they've lost their emotional bodies.
Mm.
This is what I was told about the Greys. The Greys, tall Greys, the short Greys, the little minuscule Greys. The Greys themselves lost their emotional bodies, which was necessary for sexual procreation.
Mm.
Once they've lost that empathetic part of themselves, they were nothing more than automatons, supposedly manipulated by the reptilians. So now, yes, if they're reptilians, yes, I believe that there are reptilian entities or entities that can shapeshift or entities that can do certain things. I don't close myself off from any reality, but I have to stay structured and I have to stay pointed on the fact that these people are devious. Whoever it is that wants us to believe that aliens are coming down to change us into better people and all of no, we change ourselves into better people. Ain't no aliens coming down and telling you I'm going to help you and give you these powers and so forth. All that's all their manipulation. And every time you see one of them damn aliens, they're white with long white hair. Go and look at all of what it is they say is coming down here from, Saint Anthony and Saint this and Saint that coming down to and all bright, and go and look at who it is they're telling you is coming back to save the humanity.
Mm.
Don't start saving yourselves.
Mm.
Start building on yourself. Start knowing that you are the spirit. You are the one. You are the kings and queens. You're the pinnacle of all all life. Why are you waiting for somebody to come back and give you technology or wisdom? You have all the wisdom. Your ancestors left it to you. They have it all parked in under the Vatican.
Mm.
Leave all those stories alone. Start getting your food together. Take your children out these schools. You see what they did to these kids. They done shot three of them now. That now the transgender community now wants to blame us for blaming her.
Mm.
Ain't nobody talking about the victims. They're talking about the transgender girl that she was forced into doing it, and we're going to support her. And this poor girl, she was
Mm.
only 18, she was only 16. Now she's 28. It's all a distraction. Everything that you're seeing is even Trump's uh, uh,
Indictment.
indictment is a distraction. It's all a game. Get your economy together. Get your gold. Get your food. Get your water. Get your guns.
You came in here and delivered a message today, Doc. Wow.
Hey, we got to stop getting distracted by all these things. Aliens. What that going to do? Is it going to put food on your table? No.
Mm,
Is that going to put an education into your child's head? No. But it will distract you. It will give you something to talk about other than surviving over the next 10 years.
mhm. Let's get to some Q&A from the people, Doc. I think it's about time. Let me see. We got 4,000 people in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. For those coming late, once again, make sure you support the good doctor. His PayPal is up on the screen. I'll leave it on the screen the duration of the show. CommentEarth@gmail.com. He doesn't have a PayPal. So 4,000 people in here. Let's make sure we show the good doctor some love. And right now we're gonna get to some Q&A. Like I said, if you came in late, the link is pinned at the top of the chat. So you can click on the link at the top of the chat, and yeah, you'll be able to join us. All right, let's get to some of y'all did not connect your device, so I won't be able to. Rob Foster, your device is not connected. Okay, let's get to Ooh Wee. Peace. Ooh Wee, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How you gentlemen doing?
All right, peace. You got a question for Dr. Valentine? One question, my brother.
Yes, sir. I'd like to say thank you, Black363. And I would like to say thank you, Dr. Phil, because I've tried one of your experiments and I knew you were the real deal. And I wanted to ask you for another tweak for my body. I dream in black and white, and I'm keep trying to get myself to dream in full color.
When people dream in black and white, as opposed to color, is that their mentality and the way that they look at the world is black and white. The way that they decide certain things, there has to be either this or that. You're very, very, I would say, critical about making sure that what you're searching for is exactly what it is that you found. And so, black and white is a tendency of people who are looking to get exactitude and not just to get caught up in the colors of things. Colors represent differentiations, fragmentations. The beautiful thing is you can get caught up by the colors in your dream. But when you dream in black and white, you're looking for certain answers. You're dealing with certain things that have an exactitude to them. And you're looking for it specifically. This is what I'm going in for this particular dream. This dream is supposed to give me something that's either this or that. It's not me just wallowing and getting lost in the beauty of colors and seeing who people are. Those are distractions to you. So your subconscious is based upon getting right to the facts.
All right, thanks for calling, brother. We got to get to the next question. Thank you. All right, let's get to the next question. And after Doc answers your question, I need you to leave the back of the studio so more people could come in. Because as long as you're still there, there's a limit of 10 people that could join in the back. So as long as you're still there, okay, he just left. All right. Let's get to the next question, family. Janine Vale, are you there? Janine Vale, are you there? Can you hear me? All right, we're gonna have to get to the next. Let's get to it.
She had her phone, she had her
Yeah,
microphone off.
yeah.
Mhm.
Let's get to Antonio. Antonio, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear y'all. Brother Phil.
All right,
Hey, how you doing, Brother Phil?
one question, my brother. We got a lot of guests. One question.
Yes, yes. I live in Delaware Valley, outskirts of Philadelphia. All these derailments and all of that. Now I see there's a mixture going on with these chemicals. Now there's another chemical that transpired, and another chemical, another chemical. They don't want us to deal with the water and all that. You can't take baths and all that stuff. I mean, we boil water and all that. Sometimes we don't consume those waters, but it's the fact that if you destroy the water, you destroy the people. That's
Indeed.
all I gotta say.
But what you're saying is correct. It's called asymmetric warfare. They'll attack the environment in order to attack you. So you have to understand
Yes.
everything is being turned into a weapon. Our justice system is weaponized. Our commerce is weaponized. Our financial system is weaponized. Our system of culture and family and all of the things that keep us as a human is being weaponized. Even our women, our females, our sisters were weaponized against us. So you have to understand that everything in an asymmetric war, based upon the art of war by Sun Tzu, is about weaponizing everything because the foe or the adversary that you are on war with is more powerful than you, and they know that. So they have to undermine us from within. That's what the southern border is about. They have over 2 to 3 million people who've come in here, and these are Chinese nationals. These are people coming in from the Arab nations. These are not just people coming in from South America, coming in from these other islands. These are people coming through Mexico and are picking up stations. These are the sleepers that you're going to go to war with, or maybe going to war with soon. And these are the ones that are going to be recruited by Antifa to start the chaos. That's what they want you to do now that Trump has been indicted. They know that if Trump gets in, there's going to be a war against them because there's a war going on against them right now in the Ukraine. That's what Putin did. He attacked them because the Ukraine was a hub, one of the biggest hubs,
I heard. Yeah.
one of the biggest hubs for child sex trafficking
Yeah, I heard.
and sex trafficking itself, as well as the ones who actually weaponized what you took in during the COVID war plan, genocidal plan. So you have to understand that that's exactly what we're at. We are at war. So the train derailments, all of these are sabotage. You got to destroy the infrastructure. That's why you see Gates buying up farmland. Why you see they stopped taking the oil and made us more dependent from outside oil. The person in office right now is an enemy. He's in the pocket of the deep state. That's why you have transgenders in the government right now, big time. You have one transgender was stealing people's luggage off the airports, women's luggage, and putting it on.
Oh shit.
They're laughing at us. I'm sorry.
Oh
Go right
man.
ahead, brother.
Let's get to the next call. This is Cyberlord. Cyberlord, can you hear us?
Yes, yes, yes. How y'all doing? Doctor Valentine. I've been a fan of you for years. My question is quick. The new Fed now CBD currency that they're about to issue. Are they about to collapse the economy and totally replace Bitcoin? Um, and that's all. Thank you.
Okay, good question. I would not deal with Bitcoin. Bitcoin will go the way of the dodo bird in about another 5 to 10 years, even less than that, because it has
Damn,
no
that
intrinsic
fast?
value. Yeah,
Oof.
it'll probably hit a 500,000 to 1 million, and then all of a sudden drop off. The banks do not want anything that they do not have a hand in controlling, so they are not going to adopt that which they are not part of. That's why XRP is superior. XLM is superior. Quant is superior. XDC is superior. HBAR is superior. All of these have a use case for those CBDCs or for the banks. I don't want no CBDC, not here in America. I don't want nobody knowing exactly what I buy and when I buy it.
Mhm.
That's what they're fighting over here. They're fighting not to deal with the CBDC and to make sure that our central banking system uses a system that does not use a central banking coin, because then that will lock us in. We will have no other choice but to buy and sell at their command. And that's what they're doing around the world right now with the WEF, which is the World Economic Forum. They're trying to get us off the dollar and onto a world digital currency. And that's going to be your mark of the beast.
Okay, let's get to the next question. Joshua 369. You got a question,
Peace,
my brother?
peace. Um,
Oh, whoa, damn, Joshua. Somehow he got disconnected. Uh, call back in, my brother. I don't know what happened. Nothing on my end, but call back in, my brother. I'll put you on after the next call. Let's get to the next caller, Kunta. Kunta, man, what the hell you doing over there, man? Come on, what
Yeah,
questions you got, my brother? What's up?
shout out to Germany, Dr. Phil Valentine. I highly honor you. Thanks for your book. Yeah,
Give thanks,
Hey,
brother. Give thanks.
just swimming through this, black water, but whatever. I got a question, and I'm wondering, like, how is this gonna be orchestrated? Because, okay, the market is falling, but in what time frame? Like, can we kind of have some projection? Is it gonna be in the next 2 months? Is it gonna be in the 3 months? When is that hyperinflation taking place? Thank you. Ashe.
Good question.
thank you, my brother.
Good question. This year, this is why we are in a preparatory mode for us and we go into survival mode. There is a countermeasure in place to, it's called the quantum financial system, the QFS. That's the one that's going to war against the the Great Reset. The Great Reset is the Illuminati. That's them. The quantum financial system that was in place before they dismantled it or they attacked it on 9/11, that was supposed to be announced outside of the World Trade Center at 9 p.m. on that Tuesday. But what happened was the attack took place at 9:57. If you noticed, that they sent that rocket that was disguised as an airplane into the building and shut that down, which was actually to stop the quantum financial system from going into place and to institute in the next week after the attack a 2,000 page Patriot Act that was part of the that began the attack. Now I'm saying for everybody that the mission to get us completely subservient and to kill off as many as we can is until 2030. You may have been at one of my lectures when I talked about the time frame, which was 2030 to 2050. But by 2030, they hope to have us all on electronic cars to have stopped us from dealing with any kind of oil, which is ridiculous because that way you can, the oil is what generating everything. It's generating the electricity for you to charge the cars. They want to maintain a control over Africa. So I would say to stay away from any of your EVs. I know a lot of people want to buy the EVs. It costs 120,000, some of them, but these EVs are actually built on slave labor. The materials being used, the lithium and the materials to use the batteries, you can recycle the batteries, but they're not biodegradable. But to get the lithium and the materials that make the batteries, slave labor is used, child slave labor is being used to make those batteries. So this whole change over into an electronic system is another means of control because if you get one of those cars, by the next 2 to 5 years, they're going to have chips in them. And these chips are going to make sure that whatever area you live in and whatever economic status you have, you are not going to be able to travel outside the boundaries that that chip designates as your cutoff point. So you can't drive out from one state to the next. You can't buy certain food because you have a particular label. They're already doing it in China. You're not going to be able to buy food, pay your rent, buy homes, do anything that the state says based upon your what they call social credit. This is all supposed to happen before 2030. It's a gradual process. The only problem is that Trump is in their way. And I know everybody's talking about him and saying he's this and that. The Democrats have really stuck their own foot up their own backsides with trying to indict him. When they indicted him, they're just guaranteed that he's going to be the next presidential candidate in the Republican Party.
Damn, thanks for telling me, Doc. I was just saying what alive. Let's get to the next question, the next caller.
I was just
E.
saying, what alive? Let's get to the next
E.
question. The next
Can you hear
caller.
me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
You have to turn down your TV because I can hear it.
Okay, hold on.
You have to turn down your TV.
Better?
Yeah, much better. You got a question, my brother?
Yes, I got a question about space. Um, I don't believe the moon landing. I don't believe that they've been in space no type of way or form because I believe that they lied about the moon landing from the get go. So my question is really, how can we believe anything they say about space?
That means, brother, the very notion, the very thought process that you are engendering shows that you are of high intelligence. This
Thank
is
you.
this is why I say this. The very fact that space, as they actually tell you, is a lie, because the only way that you can actually support a uh, a atmosphere for the life of sentient beings is to make sure that that atmosphere is within a closed structure. But they tell you that there are layers to the atmosphere going all the way into space. But then they tell you that space is a vacuum.
Right.
So, how does a vacuum exist immediately and directly in line and right up next to an atmosphere, and that atmosphere isn't being sucked out into outer space?
It's impossible.
Impossible. But they do tell you that Einstein solved that problem with his general theory of relativity, because space to him is like a giant trampoline, and that the density of space, which is ether, it bends, it folds, and the mass causes space to bend and therefore causes the earth to spin around the sun, which is the most ridiculous thing that we have going on, which is why my webinar is going to show the scientific proof that we do not live in a spinning water ball that's spinning at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator and spinning at 66,000 miles an hour around the sun, which is
You are so right.
hurtling through the earth at 166,000 miles around the center of some galaxy. It's ridiculous.
Right. If all possible, then how can you get a spaceship off of this Earth into space
Indeed, there
if
is
you're spinning that fast?
indeed. And how do you land an airplane down by near the equator if the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour and you're only flying at 500 miles an hour?
Right.
All right, we gonna get
Th-
to the next caller, my brother. I got a lot of people, my brother. I appreciate the
That's
call.
okay. Thank you.
You're
All right, peace,
welcome.
brother.
Just be on the
All
lookout for my webinar.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
all right, my brother. Let's get to the next call. Ibn Abdullah Rashid. Can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Do you have a question?
Yes. Peace, brother Rich and Elder Doctor Valentine. Thank
Salam
you for all
alaikum.
that you brothers do.
Peace.
Question is, where do you see our people going as far as melanated people in the future, and where was our place as being as cultivators of civilization with this new paradigm shift?
Well, I see us right now awakening. And we have very good faith in the fact that you young people are actually doing the work. You're putting in the work. I'm just as concerned at the fact that your culture, we talk hip hop and rap, is not leaving you anything aesthetically pleasing. It's
Mm.
leaving you in a rut of that they destroy aestheticism. And of course, or Theodore Adorno was responsible for destroying the aestheticism of culture and music. So when I look at some of the things that a lot of your hip hop and but actually your rap, your rap royalty you're talking about, they don't ever talk mostly about music. 80% of the
At all.
conversation is always about who was afraid of who shot who, and who stole from who screwed who. I ain't never heard none of that coming up when I was talking to people from the Earth, Wind, and Fire. And when we sat down, we talked about music. We talked about love. Look at all the music that was coming up in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and just by the 90s, just crazy in the 90s before things started getting crazy. We were dressed crazy in the 70s and the 80s, looking like fools away with all of the stuff with funkadelics. But if you go back to the music, that's what's being sampled today. That's what you see these little white kids dancing to today.
Hmm.
But if you sit down with Jay-Z and all the rest of them, it's all about this, this, and that, and who was afraid of who. Look at how they're outing the hell out of Puffy. I called him, he says, well, he was had a hand in killing what's his name? Big
What,
heavy
big,
set brother,
big,
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 yeah.
big.
big heavy set, of course, big. Biggie Smalls. And now they're outing him, talking about he was the one. I don't call him, P Diddy. I call him P did it.
Oh man, that ain't right. That ain't right, Doc.
And then you got to deal with the fact that all of the jealousy and all of this money grabbing and all of this madness, all of the fact that now that this minister for for Beyonce said that Beyonce will be calling her up, please come and help me because Jay-Z is doing AB on the third, and so you don't have an aesthetic thing to go back to and said during this time this particular music helped us to do A, B, and a third. It just got you angrier and angrier, stratified you more into gang-like mentality. Now all you can do is do a crip walk. What's a crip walk? What's that? What does that mean? A crip walk is you doing a gang type symbolism. They put these people in there, these government agents. Tupac wasn't a gangbanger. This dude went to Juilliard. And what about your boy? What's his name? Did it or Dog it, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, that guy.
These guys, they weren't no, they were bought and paid for. And how is it that you could talk about fuck the police and then become a superstar after that? Anybody thought about that? Could you imagine the Black Panthers saying that? What did they say that when the real ones were actually the revolutionaries who said "fuck the police" and walked into the government house strapped? That's gangster. But all this other proselytizing about what you're gonna do and this and that. I got the grill. I got the spinners. That ain't shit. That's all that's proselytizing and doing all of this and doing what? How did that advance?
Mhm.
What did the Black Panthers leave? They left the free lunch program that's still being used by the United States across the United States to feed poor children.
Definitely. Hey, I appreciate your call.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank
Assalamu
you.
alaikum.
Peace.
Thank
Next caller. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you hit the like button. Also, before we continue, let me just I'm gonna be putting Doc's PayPal. Oh, I messed up. Hold up, y'all.
Oh, by the way, just somebody seemed that they wanted to deal with the wounded womb, or the
Uh,
book of the earth. No, actually, the book of the earth. You can't find the book of the earth right now. I'm still working on it. The only thing that's available is the wounded womb right now.
okay. All right. Doc's PayPal is on the screen. KemetEarth@gmail.com. He does not have a Cash App. I know everybody's used to the Cash App. To support the brother, hit up the PayPal family. All right. Let's get to the next. All right. I got to clear some space. Ibn, I got to clear some space in the back. So I'm going to have to get rid of you. And E, I'm going to have to get rid of you. And let's get to Mummy 2K. Mummy 2K, you got a
Peace,
question, my brother?
peace, Brother Rich. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Peace, Dr. Phil Valentine.
Hotel.
My question is quick. We now have movement on the doctrine of discovery.
Heard about it.
And
Heard about it. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. It's been a long time. This is big news.
Yes.
They haven't rescinded yet, but what they're doing is just apologizing. And according to what Aquarius Maximus was saying the other night on your show, Father Rich,
Mhm.
um, how does this play into the financial situation Are they purposely trying to give us um,
Reparations.
reparations and kill a dollar at the same time, so it's worth nothing?
There
Good,
you
good,
go.
good question.
Peace.
Yeah, good
There
question,
you
brother.
go, brother. Good. I like the shirt too, brother.
Thank
Yeah,
you. I'm
Yeah,
out.
you
thank you,
hit it
brother.
right on the head. It's a
All right,
strategy.
that's
Yes,
it.
Give with one hand and take with the other.
Mm.
yes,
You have to understand that they are never, ever, remember why COINTELPRO even existed. You shall never have a Messiah arising. And that doesn't mean just a person, it means a system
yes,
that
yes.
can be the savior of our people. But only our rescinding of our input, our energy input, because every time we show our creativity or show our abilities, they use it and they take it as if it belongs to them, as it's a crop that belongs to them. We
Mhm.
have to be able to consolidate our people's talents in genius and everything so that it pays us, it uplifts us. Why? Because we are not accepting ourselves as the autochthonous peoples of this Western Hemisphere. Western civilization that these Europeans talk about, they are a Nordic civilization. They're not a Western civilization. Western
Absolutely.
civilization was destroyed, and they just took it, just like they take everything else and gentrify it. They gentrified our Constitution and created these two other constitutions that they're running on, the ones that destroyed the original 1789 Constitution that we had a hand in creating.
Mhm.
We were the original 12 colonies.
But astrologically, it's time for them to pay up.
Oh, they're going to pay up.
Comically, it's time for them to pay up.
The only reason that they're going to pay up is because they're going to disappear from the gene pool.
Woo!
That's what I'm talking about.
That's
This is what I wanted to pull out of
That-
you.
Mhm.
That's cold, Doc. That's
This
cold.
is
All
what I
right.
wanted to
I
pull.
can't help
Peace.
it. That's the most high. Thank you, brother.
Hey,
Have a
thank you, my
great
brother.
one.
All right,
You
peace,
too,
peace.
beloved.
All right, let's get to the next caller, Shawnee L.
Peace, brother Rich. Peace,
Peace,
Baba.
peace.
I had a quick question for you. Concerning going back to the discussion that we are having on the AI, um, do you feel as if there's actually a way for us to co-opt the AI to make it something that can benefit us, as opposed to just looking at it as a negative thing? And in conjunction with that, do you believe that nature, or using natural elements, or using the actual systems that the Earth has to actually integrate with the AI to um, combat what they're trying to do as far as overpowering, I guess, our own abilities
Mhm.
naturally to, I don't know if
Excellent question. Excellent question. What you're looking at, and this is the part that's going to really, this is going to tax us because the air is being sprayed with nanos that you're taking into your system with just your every breath. And you could tell when it's going to rain, especially because they don't spray the sky unless it's going to rain. And so watch every time you see the crisscrossing, know that it's about to rain because they're actually seeding the atmosphere so that you're breathing in the nanotech that is going to interface you with the AI system. That's what that whole stabbing ritual for those past 2 or 3 years was about, getting into your bloodstream and to set off through the 5G system that's all around you to interface you with the AI through the 5G, 6G, 7G system that is a learning apparatus for the AI system. 5G is a learning apparatus. That's the fifth grade. Just
Mm.
look at it that way. For the hyper intelligence that is using your form, especially once you've been stabbed, excuse me, it's using your form, your biochemical, bioelectric, biomagnetic energy that is coming off of your own unique aura. It is duplicating that in the AI system.
I see.
And they have replicants of you in the AI system, and you're to practice being part of that through something called the metaverse. And you're going to be it's going to get so sophisticated that what you have fed into the AI is going to be so connected to you based upon that technology that it will be feeding you instructions that will mimic your thinking process. This is why they found this out, that the computer took over this dude and he was following the instructions of the AI system, which is why Elon and them came out right after that and said, we got to shut this thing down. It's becoming sentient. But they say it's too late. How you become more protected is to understand, and this is what our university is about. It's teaching you the techniques to know whether or not you're thinking your thoughts based upon you, whether you are thinking your thoughts or your thoughts are thinking you. So
Thank you.
understand that you have to become very, very cognizant of what it is that your thoughts are telling you. If you start thinking about killing babies or doing certain crazy stuff, know that that ain't your thinking. Know that you are being given certain, they have the way to project thought processes into your brain to align with your aura to make you think that you're hearing sounds that sounds like your thoughts. That's how the technology has become so sophisticated.
Thank you
Hope
for the
that
question, my brother.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you.
Peace. All right. For those asking to call, the link is pinned at the top of the chat. So if you would like to join us, it's at the top of the chat. But I need to make sure you support the brother for doing this type of show tonight. This takes an incredible amount of energy to answer so many questions from people all over the world. And I appreciate Doc for agreeing to do this show. It's turned out to be an amazing show. I want to thank everybody who has participated up to this point. We got about 5,400 people in the chat right now. Please make sure you support the brother on PayPal, commetearth@gmail.com. And Doc, also be careful with the references to the the thing, because they
yeah, yeah,
sophisticated with the they real
yeah.
sophisticated now with the what I'm
The
saying.
algorithm. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
the
trying to
algorithm.
stay.
Yeah,
I'm
I
trying to
I,
stay
I
as
definitely I
yeah.
definitely need this show to stay up there. Let's get to where the sisters at. Yeah, where the sisters at? A lot of brothers here. Where the sisters at tonight?
Who's mayor?
Let's get uh I don't
Is
where
that
you see that at?
is that a woman? I see a
Oh,
mayor.
okay, you can see, yeah. I have no idea. Let's try, sis.
Yes, it
Doc
is a
said
woman.
Mayor, Mayor, are you there? You're on
Yes,
mute.
yes,
Okay, it is, sister. How you doing? You got a question for Dr. Valentine?
yes. I am 12 years old and I've been watching you forever. And my dad watches you and Bobby Muhammad and all the other people. And I just wanted to, I've been getting signals and stuff about you. How can I tap into my goddess form? And like, how can I raise my vibrations? I
How
know by
old?
meditating.
Oh,
12.
you're 12. Oh, I
Yes.
love you. You know that in the
Because,
story.
Yeah. Yeah, Doc, are you there?
Yeah. Okay. Here we are.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. So, I just wanted to tell you, Mayor. Excuse me. That do you know the story? The story of Jesus the Christ. The myth of Jesus the Christ was that he went into the temple at 12 years old and blew the minds of all the elder priests in there because he was so intelligent. Shows your intelligence as well,
thank
that
you.
you're a little leader that is about in the making. The fact that you are not, watching TV and doing all the things that children or young people your age are doing. You're looking to grow yourself at a point in your life that will be pivotal in making you the great woman that you're going to become.
Thank
So,
you.
one thing I will tell you, just make sure that as you are growing, that you are staying with people who are are about stay chaste. I'm talking to you like I talk to my daughter. Make sure that your body is a temple and it is not to be violated or desecrated and to follow along with certain impulses. You are a treasure. You are the mother of civilization, and therefore you have to act as such. You have to be the example of that because from your womb, when you are old enough, from your womb will be the next generation and generations to come.
Yes.
So, what you're teaching yourself at this particular time, your focus and your attention, you make sure that whoever that man is that you choose to be with you, because that's you, you're the one to make that choice. You make sure that he's not running the streets and he's not crazy, gang banging, and because it's the truth is a lot of your children, I mean, a lot of your sisters are liking that type of guy. You don't want that. The nerdy guy, the guy that is studious, the guy that is church like in his mentality, the guy that has ethics, treats you correct. That's how you essentially become more spiritually aware.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you for calling in.
You
Take
too.
care, dear.
Bye.
All
Bye bye, darling. She's so adorable.
right. Definitely. What a show, right, family? What a show. What a show. You know, Doc, I got the idea for this show in the middle of meditation.
Ah,
In the middle of meditation. And it came, you know what's so funny, Doc? It came lightning fast. Where the average person would have missed the thought, but I caught
yeah.
it. And I said, well,
Mm-hmm.
what about a live calling show with Doc? And I
Mm-hmm.
said, and sometimes thoughts happen so fast, you'll just be like, you won't pay
Yeah.
any mind to it. But I'm like, no, that's it. I got that idea for a reason. This is a legendary show, y'all.
Well, that's because you were using your observer. Your observer is
Mm,
now more in tune with your thinking process. So you're not letting all of these great ideas pass by. You're actually seeing them for what they are. You're not
indeed.
distracted. That's the
Yeah,
word.
indeed. No,
Hmm.
I'm definitely thankful for that. Gratitude, gratitude. Shout out to King Simon in the chat.
Uh-oh.
King Simon in the
Uh-oh.
chat. Uh, you got Dr. Valentine's website on the screen, 1-800 number for those of y'all who got questions about that thing we keep talking about. Here, help you out with that. We got the PayPal, email, kemetearth at Gmail, and the brother's email, sanu777 at Gmail.
Hmm.
Like I said, family, if you just came in, there's almost 5,500 people in the chat. We got to make sure we take care of Dr. Valentine. Look what he's doing with this show. Look who he's impacting. We got the 12-year-olds. We got the future star seeds calling in. I mean, this is amazing. This is amazing. So make sure we take care of this brother. KemetEarth at gmail.com. That is the PayPal. All right, family? I want him to call me or text me and say, Rich, your people, yo, thank you, brother. I need that. That make me feel good. All right, let's get to the next. And shout out King Simon for always helping me out in the chat.
Indeed. Shout out.
All right, let's get to the next caller. We got about 20 more minutes. You cool with that, Doc?
Very cool.
We got about 20 more minutes. It's 10:20. I don't want to keep Doc too late. Let's go to Saturn. Saturn, can you hear me? Saturn, we're gonna have to go. Can you hear me, Saturn? Saturn.
Hello?
Saturn, what's up? You got a
Hello?
question? Yes, yes. Do you hear me, Saturn? All right. All right, we got to go. All right, let's get to, I guess it's Empress Cindy. Can you hear me? Cindy?
Yes, I can hear you. Blessed love and
Bless.
greetings.
Yes,
Blessed.
yes.
And I wanted to say give thanks to Dr. Phil for all that you do and give thanks, Brother Rich, same way. I'm just going to make this quick. I have two questions. Number one, Dr.
No, no,
Valentine.
one question. I'm sorry, one question. We
Okay,
got,
one
yeah,
question.
yeah.
Okay. With all the stuff that's going on and all the information that you're giving to I, do you feel that any place on this earth is a safe place to be at this time?
Good
No,
question. All right, good
no
question.
place is safe because the way the technology works at this time, it will blanket the entire planet. The pollution and the poisoning of the planet. In fact, that's where they're attacking first. In
Mhm.
Africa, India, the population, you can put the entire world's population in Texas, but they're lying to you. Millions have already been killed.
Mhm.
And people don't know that there is a genocide going on right now.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
can tell you that where you are, they say wherever you go, there you are.
Mm.
So whatever your particular karma is, it doesn't matter where you go, it's going to
Mhm.
follow you depending on that. And that's the thing about karma. The thing is, we have to know that the people who are attacking us, they tell us through the movies, through stories, through the news, through just in the music, everything. They tell us
Yes.
what they're going to do. And the reason why the Illuminati tells us what they're going to do is that they circumvent that thing called karma. Because once they tell you, they cannot have a karma. You have the ability to counter it. So they will have to tell you all of their strategies. It's just that we are so distracted that they're not paying attention. They're slipping the message under the distraction.
Mm.
So you're thinking one way and don't know that the attack is taking place right under your nose. So
Mm.
no,
Natural.
I would suggest that the best way to do that is to find out who in your community thinks like you, and then you pool your resources to get food, water, enough to take care of family, and those people that you take care of, making sure that you set these little groups in place: weapon, water, food, and shelter.
Yeah. Thank you for the call, Cindy.
Thank you, sister.
All
Give
right.
thanks. Give
Peace.
thanks.
Peace. All right, let's get to the next call. Tim, what happened to Tim? Tim Webster, are you there?
I am. You hear me?
Yes, sir. You got a question?
I do. Ashe, Brother Rich, Ashe, Elder Valentine. It's concerning the tones that some of us hear in our head these days, a high pitched tone. That's not tendonitis. I wanted
Hmm.
to know if that's associated with downloads.
No, it's ARP.
Okay. I also have noted that I write the time zone when these happen,
Yes.
and it often correlates with spikes in the Schumann resonance.
Uh-huh. HARP.
Okay.
High active oral research project. It's a
Okay.
Navy technology up in Alaska, but they have stations all around the world. So it's a
Yeah.
combined and coordinated effort to make sure that the frequencies that actually help you to tap into your spiritual self
Mhm.
are being subverted. They're being intercepted.
Um,
They're being perverted.
okay.
So when you meditate, there's a certain energy necessary to lock you into that particular resonance, that so-called Schumann resonance. When they put out a distorting figure, a distorting energy signature in the air that is connected to the 5G, they blanket the area that you would need to interface with these discordant energy patterns that come out as ringing in your ears.
Mm,
Indeed.
all right.
All right. All right. Thank you for
Thank
your
you very
question, my
much.
brother. All right.
You're
Peace.
welcome.
Peace. Peace. All right. Let's hurry up and get to the next. We're trying. I want to get to as many people as possible, family. So let's get to the technologist. Technologist. What's going on?
Brothers, thank you for
Peace.
this.
Peace.
Been waiting to ask this question forever.
Uh oh.
Been
Okay.
watching all the
Come on.
shows and
Come on. Bring it on. Come
throwing
on.
it in the chat, but I never get picked. Can I make a statement and then ask my question? It's only going to take 15 seconds
Go ahead,
for this
brother.
particular statement.
Go ahead, brother.
Okay. It's about the things that you've been talking about tonight. So, are we essentially electrical beings or chemical beings? It's not a question, it's coming. However, the newer generations, like myself, we're chemically experimenting on food changes, soy added to all of our food, and various different chemicals. All of this relates. And let me see. Um, some of the reasons for the different changes that you're seeing in the music, like you were saying, with this chemical and all the electronics that are around us, like electrical wires and all the electronic smog. Um, but my specific thing is about the ions. However, you were talking about AI, and I work in technology. So I look at AI as a congregate of knowledge versus quantum computers being a resource that can tap into other dimensions. Chemtrails, you mentioned spraying
Brother,
things.
you got to hurry up, brother. I'm sorry. You got to
Okay,
hurry up,
I'll
brother.
go to my question. No problem. Um, when ions are in your blood, are they essentially part of heaven? Because basically, um, there's an article that mentions how
Brother.
ions
All right,
can be.
go ahead, Doc. You got to
I
let me.
understand what he's talking about. Thank you, brother. You're from your nature is from the Buddha strain of consciousness. You even look like him. So, what I would suggest you look at, as far as ions are based upon the actions of atoms, and atoms are actually paying attention to your thought processes. You are actually using energy. You asked if you're electric or chemical. You are electrochemical beings. You're an electromagnetic being and you're electrochemical. There's no division or distinction. We are the ones that's tearing us apart to give us these fragmented portions of ourselves. We are whole beings. We are avatars that are held together in a morphogenetic field that we call our aura. The morphogenetic means form holding. So the aura is holding us together, holding those ions, holding those quarks, those nuons, those bosons. We're being held together in this flesh as light beings. At your basic essence is light. Because if you go all the way down to the cell and do the cell all the way down to the microbial levels, you're nothing more than spinning atoms and spinning quarks. So you are a light being. And so what they've done with AI is to interface at that level now. That's what the 5G was to do. The 5G was to set up a network, a si- well, you could say network, but a screening mechanism. Now, I would suggest to people that if you want to make sure that you cannot hear that ringing in your ear or to be interfaced with that new energy that they're dealing with, is that you set up a Faraday cage around your bed at night, and you start dealing with setting up what is known as a fence, a Faraday fence, which will cut out all forms of energy patterns. And I know the technologists will understand what I mean by the Faraday cage. Look up the Faraday cage and that will be part of your protection.
Excellent, excellent. But thank you
Thank
for
you very
calling in,
much
brother.
for the question,
Thank
brother.
you.
Thank you.
All
Hmm.
right. All right, family. Let's get to the next question. Yeah, I don't mean to rush your family, but we have to get to as many calls as possible. We got to keep this thing flowing. When you just start rambling, it gets stagnant. It throws the energy off. So I like a good flow. That's what makes shows good, and that's been my strategy with my show every time I do a show. So Doc you only got about 10 to 15 minutes left. So we're gonna get to as many as possible. Let's get to Candace, another sister. You got a question?
Yes, greetings, greetings,
Peace,
Baba.
peace.
It is a pleasure, and to
Mm.
you, King Black Magic. I have a question as far as your schooling. I know it's off topic, but I've been receiving straight direct energies from sunbathing, where I'm now touching light without cord.
Hmm.
So, what training I need it. I'm like electrified here.
Well, I
Mm.
would tell you that maybe joining our next semester at our university will help you. And you remind me of when I was chasing Sly and the Family Stone, Sister Rose looked just like so that's good to see your face, sister. Yeah, I would suggest that for you, the first thing you need to do is to delete all of the judgments that you have in your system, all in the
Mhm.
brain, all of the catalog judgments that you've created throughout your life, all of the prejudices, the things that you feel, the situations that have made you feel diminished as a human, as a woman, as all of these things are all judgments that we have placed upon ourselves. And the university teaches you to delete that programming. And once you've deleted that programming, you fall into an empty space, a
Mhm.
complete space that does not belong to any of those illusions. And then you start to remake yourself at the microbial level, as I was speaking to the brother, because every thought is an atom that you create, and that atom is looking for manifestation, it's looking for embodiment. So every thought
Absolutely.
that you create is a embryonic embodiment waiting to be
I'm
born.
taking off. I follow you.
Think
Hey,
about that,
Gotcha.
and we'll probably have our summer program sometime in July.
I'll see you
th-
soon.
Okay.
peace, sis. Thanks for
Thank
calling in.
you. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Peace.
Thank you.
All right, what a great show. Let's get to another sister, real quick. No, you know what? This brother been here. Let's get to Detroit first. Detroit been here a little while. Detroit,
Good
what's going
evening.
on, my brother? Do you have a question?
Yes, sir. Good. I got to say good evening, brothers. I've been a long time listener.
Give
But
I
thanks.
appreciate it.
all right, the question is, I know when those people tend to hide things from us, is something in the game. What's going on up there in the South Pole?
I was
I,
waiting for somebody to come to
I,
that part.
I knew this brother was ready because he got his headphones, he got his
Oh yeah,
background.
Oh
He
yeah, yeah.
ready. He a podcaster. He
I
Yes,
love
sir.
it. I
go
love it.
ahead, Doc. Go
Oh,
ahead,
you
Doc.
have no idea, brother. They have shut down the South Pole because that's where they're meeting with the people who live beyond the poles.
That's what I was about to ask. I've heard
Yes,
that there's some other beings up there, but
yes. Yeah, there's a whole. We are on a flatted plane, and on that plane, the skies look the same throughout that entire plane. Our plane is under a specific bubble that essentially is about 13,000 feet as you get towards the dome end. If you look in the Encyclopedia Britannica, which I will show you at in my new webinar, that they spoke about a dome that was a specific 13,000 feet high, that towards the ending, and this is
mhm.
and this is this has been tabulated. Those who are talking about flat Earth is clowns and so forth. I got the proof. I got the juice to show you that none of what you are seeing is a reality that they want you to see. They want you to stay ignorant. They want you to stay on a ball Earth.
Mhm.
That's where they control you. But you hit it, brother. The Antarctica is a ring. It's what's keeping the oceans in. It's
Okay.
about a 200 to 300 foot wall of ice,
Mhm.
and beyond that ice portion, going through a gate, because there's a vibratory gate to get out to the other side, because everything else is water and gases. What we're looking up in the sky with the spinning dome and all these things that they're telling you is these nebulas and so forth. That's all gases that's taking on light filters. And when you see the planets themselves, you see them throbbing, and they're just wandering. They're not spinning anywhere. They're just wandering. They're just blinking in and out. And what you're looking at is sonoluminescence. Sonoluminescence is sound in water. And as you could take a laser and shoot it into water, and all of a sudden a light ball, will take place. We're looking at nothing but water above the dome. And when you think about planets, which are wanderers, you're looking at the word, which is sound. The word, the WORD, made flesh, means made into matter. You're watching the word vibrating and reverberating through the waters above and the waters below. And those are the planets that they're telling you they're going to land on. Ain't nobody going to Mars. They're going up there to Canada, where the Earth. They have a particular island that's the Earth and the soil is particularly red, and they got the Mars rover blanking back information, and they got busted because when you started to study the Mars pictures, you saw a dead rabbit or dead gerbil off to the side. It's all garbage.
Doc, you crazy.
It's garbage.
Hey, hey,
The
brother.
people.
Thank you for calling, brother. I got to get to the next caller.
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate it.
Good evening. Good
All
evening,
right,
fellas.
Detroit. All right, Detroit. Shout out to Detroit right there.
Yes, sir.
Brother had good energy. Let's get to Enoch.
Whoa,
Enoch, are you there, Enoch?
Yeah,
powerful,
greetings, you hear me?
Yes,
powerful
sir.
name, powerful name.
Yeah. What's your
Yes,
question, my brother?
now. Yes, Baba Phil Valentine, I know you for maybe 40 years from back in the days in Kingston and Albany. So, we know you know the work. Basic question, but straightforward to it. What's the blueprint? You done did the work. The work has been done. Now it's just for the masses to go ahead and get it done. So what would you say is the basic five essential things that we need to do moving forward in the next 10, 20 years as a humoid family, as ancestral powers, because we done seen everything change. The food don't taste good no more. One time you're hungry, the next time you ain't hungry. So the water don't taste good no more, no matter how much you charge it with the crystals. Everything done change. Your chemistry, your energy. So we know that we evolving even above this whole sequence of life. So what would you say? What would you say would be the five essential things we just need to do for the next blueprint for maybe 20 years moving forward?
Well, this is the first thing is to consolidate as a community of like-minded people who will implement the things necessary for survival along those years. If you don't find the like minds that's ready to go to bat, to go to grind, to consolidate all resources to a collective mind, all you need is three or four people, five people to actually create that condition, or two or three families together that pool their resources. That's what they don't want us to do. They don't want us to pool our resources. I would say get off, if you do have the ability, get off of this particular dollar system right now. Start converting to gold with Glint, Glint pay, PAY.com, GLINT and begin to move your resources out of the banks and into their system, which is essentially the ability for you to purchase gold. You can purchase gold directly, and then you can actually request from that purchase a MasterCard so that you're spending gold. Then I suggest that you deal with getting food and start consolidating a lot of the places where you can actually buy food. And this is survival food. Right now, it's about survival. It's not about you thriving like in the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden is going to come down the line after we go through the conflagration. There has to be a conflagration, just like any healing. When you're healing from a disease and you're doing it naturally, you know you're doing it naturally when you're suffering. Understanding natural healing is a process of correct suffering. It's called orthopathy, correct suffering. And that's what we have to do, corrective suffering. At this point, we have to be able to get away from our appetites and our addictions to certain foods and certain habits and begin to consolidate those energies and buying food, consolidating and getting water and storing water and getting foods that are cans and foods that are perishable. Get weapons to protect what you are bringing together, and making sure you take your children completely out of this damn system, this system that is satanic in its nature, changing up. Did you know that when they worship of Satan is to defile the will of the universal creator and to destroy everything that the creator is basically put down as the law. So what they do is they subvert it. They subvert your language to subvert your thoughts, so that they subvert your habits, subvert your sex. All of these are part of the battle strategies. So take your children out of school. Consolidate with groups of families that can get your resources together. Get out of the finances and get into the system, and what I call a compelled benefit. I'm not talking about, they talk about going from fire into the fire. Dr. Valentine's putting you in from the fire. Where are you going to go? What's your power? Do you own land? Do you own an army? Right now, everything that you're doing is being compelled. You're being compelled to do it. So the compelled benefit is to do what you can to fight a guerrilla fight, a warfare, by using things that you know after investigation. Don't just listen to me. After doing your due diligence, doing those things that you know you will survive through a guerrilla warfare. Because this is what we're going to have to learn to do. Tighten our belts, learn and teach your children who the enemy is, and to make sure you understand where you need to go when it all hits the fan. But one thing I would suggest to you, my brother, get yourself a good weapon and get yourself the military armor and go to a state where you can actually have your weapons and carry them, like where I am.
Okay, Hotep, beloved. Stay great. Stay prosperous. You and the
Say to you,
family.
bro. Say to you,
Peace,
bro.
peace, Enoch. Let's get to another caller. We're gonna do about two more. Is good with you, Doc?
Two more is good.
All right. Let's get to Shirley White. Shirley White, what's going on? You got a question?
Yes, peace to
Peace.
you, Brother Rich, and peace to you, Dr. Valentine. I had a question for about your schooling. I have a 3-year-old daughter, and I was wondering what would be good for her. I see the handwriting on the wall with the school system now and everybody pulling their kids out of school. So I
Hmm.
wonder what would be good for her learning. Cause I noticed that she's not gonna be able to do the things that me and her dad used to do, going off to school and college.
Right.
So these are different times now. So I'm trying
Hmm.
to prepare my
Very good.
family, loved ones, even
Good
though
point.
some of us
Yes.
don't listen. But I just wanted to get information on that.
Yeah. Good point. Good point.